Hello everyone, my name is Nikita Tarakanov and I'm gonna give a talk about security and insecurity of 3G and 4G modems, USB modems of Huawei. I like, nice titles, so we from China with love. So first slides are about the authors. So first one, Oleg, unfortunately he's not here, but actually he's the main author of this research. I met him in St. Petersburg during the Zero Nights conference, and after that real-life meeting, this research has started. He's a security engineer from Russia. He's researching software, hardware also, reverse engineering, and he develops exploits. Also about me, I'm also a security researcher from Russia, and everything is about me is written on my Twitter page, so I have some aliases like Crazy Wild Russian, Star the Liner, and some stories about antivirus companies that connect with me. And I'm a nice dude. So, agenda is about, first of all, I'm going to show a hardware overview of these devices. I have 3 ones. Then the software, then ideas of infecting these devices, of pawning users of these devices, and in the end conclusion and question and answers. So hardware, basically each mobile partner in Russia, it's our trio is Beeline, Megaphone, MTS. In Europe, it's T-Mobile, Vodafone, and maybe in US and Canada there are other mobile partners. And they use one major modem vendor, is Huawei. Huawei is just, just USB stick. Actually, inside of it, there is Qualcomm chip, system on chip. And all devices have a common structure. So we analyzed several devices. Here there are 3G modems. It's as you see, there are different mobile partners, but in fact devices are the same. Also, actually, E, for example, 352, it's kind of levels of some microchips in there. So actually, these devices have a lot of common. And 4G. I have one. It's for demos. Next, actually, for configuring and there are vendor software, not a lot of, for example, Huawei has their own dashboard tool for dumping ISO of these devices and generate dashboards. And from Qualcomm for configuring microchip. So actually, Huawei tool, it's easy to use. It's just actually output script that compiled to exe executable file. It's just the main purpose of this tool is generate dashboards. And for example, you can make your own dashboard with your own software. Next, for example, for unlocking, there's just a print screen of unlock of some Huawei modem. Next, Qualcomm info reader shows some internal data about device. For example, some of the devices has a Bluetooth on board, GPS on board, so a lot of interesting stuff inside. So it's not just 3G, 4G modem. In this table, I want to show that there are a lot of devices, but in fact, there are a lot of common in there. So they all based on Qualcomm chips. Qualcomm chips, versions differ, but not not a lot. And actually its capacity is also 64 megabytes, so they're all common. And there are nice, how to say, homebrew, homemade software for interesting stuff, like, we have three major mobile partners, Beeline, Megaphone, MTS, and I want to, unlock to different, I have Megaphone 4G modem. For example, I want to unlock and set Beeline mobile partner, and this soft makes this happen. Actually, if we talk about unlockers, for example, DC unlocker, it's a little industry because it's a kind of nice program. It supports a lot of devices, not just Huawei, but ZTE also, and they team behind this software makes money. For example, they take $10 for unlock some device. Also, there are, as I already told about QCommand for Reader, custom dashboards. It's funny thing about homebrew software that it opens some closed functionality. For example, in this modem, it's a 3G modem. There is voice features, but on 4G modem, voice features is on microchip, on microchip, but it disabled. So, and unlockers simply can enable them. So when you buy it in a shop, by default, a lot of interesting features disabled. I don't know why, but it's a fact. So what's inside this device actually when you plug in? There are hybrid CD, so there are file system. There are drivers to install drivers and to make a device work. A lot of software to connect internet, to connect mobile partner, and the most funny stuff, most interesting in this security area is that it's user friendly. I mean that there are software and drivers for modern operating system, for Microsoft Windows, for Linux, and for Apple OS X. Let's see what in Windows part. Actually, there are common files after runs, setup.exe, but the main thing is that all configs are in binary data that is not obfuscated, is not secret, and this was the key point of easy infection. So there is no defense against changing some not obfuscated text data, which are configs for a device. And actually, if we see difference between application and drivers for several operating systems, there are a lot of common. So for Linux, it's Bash script. For Windows, it's installation executable. And actually, for Linux, for example, you can see how it works. And funny thing that you have to be root to install it. So nice stuff. For OS X, there is just one executable file that installs all the stuff and install, by the way, kernel models. So for OS X, there is also kernel part. So what actually is dashboard? Dashboard is, as I say, drivers, application, blah, 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 and a lot of config files. And for it's just a list of drivers for Windows, plugins. If we return, the thing is that it works in such way. In Qualcomm, there is a REX operating system, which is very, how to say, easy. It just redirects all data to kernel part, to drivers, and drivers some data they processed by drivers, and some data goes further in userland and processed in plugins. Plugins is just DLLs. And the main thing that config files, self-explanated, I know, very easy to change, in fact. So there are just data how to connect, where to connect, and so on. DNS servers, all you have to know to connect to the internet. And there is first thought that just replace some fields, and it results in very easy infection, very easy. So, I mean, easy hack that gives you everything. So, just several screenshots that changing some config file owns client. Next, about processes that execute after you plug in the device. When you first of all plug in the device, drivers are installed and data card service is installed. This is a service that waits for USB modem to plug, and then it executes a mobile partner program. Actually, it's a program by Huawei, just mobile partner. Beeline, Vodafone just changed the titles of Windows. Actually, in my example, it's megaphone modem. If you buy in Amsterdam, it will be, I don't know, what's your mobile partner? Vodafone or T-Mobile? Oh, T-Mobile. Okay. And nice, very easy vulnerability that resides in here, that the service has after-update functionality, and it made in very insecure manner. There is a executable file under the name OUC. It's automatic update client, and as you can see, it runs under system privileges. And the funny stuff that file permissions on this file simply Huawei didn't set. So unprivileged user can replace this file by his file and gain escalate privileges. I can show the live demo right now or in the end of the talk. How you prefer?
Live demo.
What?
Live demo now.
Okay. So by now this is a service, megaphone modem update client, and if I start it, I have already replaced original OUC by mine, and I start switch user to guest. So if you don't believe me, just after the talk, come and I will show live. So sorry for that it's not on projector. So in fact, by the way, just 15 minutes ago, Oleg told me, I just tweeted with Stephen Esser, and he tweeted, damn, I just analyzed what OC has done on my Mac, and I plugged this device in 3 Macs. Oh shit. So he just infected 3 Macintoshes. It happens just 30 minutes ago. So about kernel part, the nice thing is that in most of the times you actually don't need debugger, because there are a lot of code that, in my opinion, has to be only in testing. There are a lot of debug prints that exist in production code, and it actually rules, because you just by setting highest debug level, and watching in WinDebug or in debug view, you can see without debugging how kernel parts of modems work. There are a lot of comments, what happens even with links to source code trunk, blah, 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 .c file, so great. And there are actually, you can Google and find some source code of the drivers, so they're easy to hack. So main idea, it's been an overview of just software, hardware. I show that software is done in insecure manner. The main idea is to infect as much as possible. Because in my opinion, you know, when you plug something to your computer and after this, it's not your computer anymore. And what's great about this, that this is like Wi-Fi, but with high range. 3G, 4G, it's kilometers of, how to say, of coverage. So there are a lot of infection vectors. For example, if we can on the fly infect USB modem, we can infect after run, because basically it's a CD and some device that gives you internet. Then via poisoning, overwriting config files, you can make DNS poisoning attacks and a lot more. So and in the near future, or maybe it happens. Basically, you know, this is USB modem, but in fact it's cell phone. Because there is a SIM card, there is a number, and there is some thought about infection to use like calling spyware and make money. For example, you register some cell phone, and if someone calls it, you get money. So if someone wanna get some money, it's nice thought. And final thought about infection that I read some news that Qualcomm wants to make peer-to-peer technologies in these devices. What reason behind that? By now it's not clear. I don't know, maybe for enhancing the speed of internet, maybe. I don't know. And GPS sensors, by now, they are not in each devices, but in most of the devices there are GPS sensors. So in fact, you know, it's like a rootkit plus GPS navigator to locate where are you. So about bootkit, infection like standard, like overwriting something, then forcing blue screen if it's Windows or kernel panic if it's Unix based, then reboot, and then we can use set this device as bootable, and after box reboots, if in BIOS set that loads from USB key, that we are first and have just bootkitted the box. So it's a bootkit sort of infection. Then DNS poisoning, it's kind of higher level, just redirect all traffic on your website, on your IP. It's in fact, it's very easy by now, because there are unlockers that, as you see, there are nice graphical user interface. There is no need in changing it in text editor. Just set on your own, and config file will be generated, and you redirect some user on your website. It's how it looks in actual config file. So next. Also, plus one funny thing that on some of these devices there are paths to antiviruses. I think distributive packages. So because I haven't seen a device with antivirus package on it, but you can just replace a path to your executable, which is Trojan horse or something like that. And there's in config though, virus installed, set it to 0, and infect the bugs. Then, when we were researching, analyzing these devices, much more we dig, much more we were, I don't know, shocked, because these devices have a lot of strange functionality. It scans all network interfaces on your box. So, for example, if you haven't money on SIM card and you can't access internet via 3G or 4G, it will try to update firmware, for example, through other network interface. And by the way, there is just a Wi-Fi profile of some box, and it locates in configurable files of USB device. So, in my opinion, this is kind of strange, and it smells like rootkit functionality. This is the most interesting research, but unfortunately, Oleg and I from Russia, and it's ordinary people can't analyze this stuff, because I have a story that one group of people wanted to bring to Russia GSM station, and they were caught up by FSB agents at the border of Russia, because baseband researching, unfortunately, and JTAG researching, it's for only special agencies in Russia, and hopefully Oleg and I not from there. But I'm telling it. So this is research in progress, because in fact to finish it, I have to move to another country, I think. I don't know. In Amsterdam is legal such stuff.
Here.
What?
Here everything is legal.
So, but in fact, even without JTAG, without GSM station, we dumped NVRAM of Qualcomm chip and start to analyze just in static way, and discovered some interesting stuff. But I can't, claim that we actually discovered vulnerabilities, because we can't, check it in real life, because we haven't GSM station. So, unfortunately. But the thing is that when I met Oleg, he gave a talk about infection, and at this moment, Oleg and me, we killed about 15 modems. Because when you fuzzing it, I mean baseband fuzzing, sometimes it happens that you send some special AT command, and this device change state from for example, from modem to microphone for spying. And when you fuzz, sometimes it happens that you change state of USB modem to some state that it doesn't work anymore. It's not microphone, it's just a piece of silicon. And unfortunately, we killed, about 15. So yeah, fuzzing kills. And the scary point that of this talk, and we discovered that yes, we can infect opponents via special packet from special GSM station to pawn Qualcomm chipset, whatever. But in fact, all of these devices updates from one website. So if we talk about conclusion, all security of these devices just hangs on security of one website that works on IIS 6.0. So call Charlie Miller to pawn this site, and you pawn every single user of this device on the whole planet. And so this is the scary part, and this is the truth. So software is insecure, hardware is insecure. By the way, about hardware, I've talked a little bit with Rahul Sasi. He's also doing research on this area, and he managed to do, he sends a special SMS to modem, and he executes his code, his payload on target. So pawning via hardware is also real, but unfortunately we haven't a chance in Russia. But software is I showed about, for example, OUC executable. It's just very insecure. So this is and actually there are a lot of material, but for example, I don't want to drop 0 days in drivers, because in fact I don't want to set up just users of Huawei modems, because nowadays, Ultrabooks, newest laptops, they shipped not just by Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, they shipped also with 3G, 4G modems in there. So you buy a laptop, it's a remote, actually it's a hole to your laptop. And if I drop 0 days in such drivers, I set up a lot of people who just bought wrong laptop. Because if you take a look at market, Huawei is kind of monopolist in this area. There are other companies that work in this field, but Huawei is, in my opinion, is kind of main. So conclusion is scary. The main question from one point of view, it's real Chinese rootkits. But from other point of view, it's just a poor developed piece of silicon, software, hardware. So what actually is, you decide. I just showed the facts. So, but stay tuned, because we are researching it. We're thinking about moving to another country to debug baseband. So, any questions?